Alrighty, everybody, it is currently Thursday, March 27th, 2025, and I want to wish a happy International Fat Bitches Day to all those who celebrate. And I know we got a few listeners who love to celebrate.
All right. That was my DJ voice. I don't know. I've been thinking about fat bitches a lot. Some of you may know why I've been thinking about fat bitches, but I've been thinking about them a lot. And I've come to the realization that fat women are the glue that holds our world together. The fat, oozing, pimple infested, rash covered, spilling glue that holds our world together. They are. But just like kind of really just angry women in general are what holds our world together, you know? Like just loud, angry women, and everyone knows what I mean by that, so I'll just fucking say it. Mexicans and black women, right? I'll say it. It's the Mexican, really Latinas as a whole, and black women are at least what holds the world together, and in my mind, the world is America. And you know, some people might say white women do it too. Yeah, they do, but people like just called them racist and like shit them out of existence, like literally shit on them until they didn't exist anymore. They did that to white women. The one thing that was like stopping everyone from being annoying. We condensed all our anger, all our fucking annoyance, all like the shit we want to say. We condensed it all and fucking telepathically passed it on to a white woman with a fucking bob haircut and a husband that she hates, and she took it out on the world. And then we fucking shat all over them for like 3 years straight, called them Karens, called them racist, got them fired from their jobs. And look, sometimes they were racist, but I would say 90% of my anger and annoyance is that. So if you're going to blame anyone, blame me for their racism. All right, with my clairvoyance, my telepathy or whatever, I passed it over to them. But we shit on them out of existence. And the Asian women too. They can be quite angry, but the problem with them is that, and this is true of the Latinas as well, but especially of the Asian women, when they get really fucking angry, they just start speaking Vietnamese or fucking Indonesian or whatever, which, look, the point gets across, but it's not as clear. You know what I mean? And the problem is when Latino women do it, when they, you know, slip into their native language, whether it's, I don't know if Brazil's part of Latin America, I imagine that it is, but we're going to count it, all right? Everything south of the border is Mexico. Let's call a spade a fucking spade for once, all right? But when they slip into their native language, you still can't understand them, and the point really doesn't get across, especially to the men, because we're just like, dude, a fucking chick yelling at me in Spanish, dude. That's so fucking like that's what everyone thinks. And I would say the Europeans, they just maybe the Eastern Europeans have that dog in them, but definitely not the Western Europeans. You know what I mean? And Western Europe as a whole just completely after World War II, even before World War II, they lost that dog. You know, I would say during the 1800s when they started leaving Africa, that's when the dog left as well. You know what I mean? Like just being in Africa, being like colonizing Africa and like oppressing an entire continent of people made them tougher. All right, it just did. Whether you agree with it or not, sending basically every young man to go fucking kill black people for like 4 or 5 years in Africa made the entire country tougher. And now they're bitches. And they're getting taken over. They're getting took the fuck over. And it's so funny to me that like Ireland and England still have beef with each other, but they're not Irish or English. Like it's like Indians versus Pakistanis. Like that's the beef between Ireland and England now. They've just all been replaced by Indians and like Pakistanis and Arabs. It's no longer Anglo versus Celt. It's Shiite versus Sunni. It is very funny. And that's a problem, I guess, all over Europe. Is they just like import people just en masse, like literally everyone. They're just like, and it's happening in America. It's really happening everywhere. And hey, what goes around comes around. And it's been a long time coming, you know what I mean? Like Europe and like America just kind of like pushed everyone down, and now they're springing back out, you know what I mean? It's like holding down a tiger by its paw, except it's not a tiger. It's an Indian man who's going to try to have sex with your 15-year-old daughter. Not sex. He's going to be doing something else to her. That's kind of like sex, but not really. And he's going to come out swinging, all right? That man has the power of a million gods behind him, and he's using every single bit of that power to find your daughter's location and get active in that pussy, all right? Can you blame him? He's just doing what we all want to do, all right? He's not waiting his turn, you know? He's skipping ahead in line. We're all waiting in line. Hey, it's like at the deli. I grabbed my ticket fucking before you. Now you're going to the counter ordering before me? No. All right, we get the food when it's ready. No skipping line. I know you want to do it. I know over there you're allowed to do it. In India, skipping the line is like going for like a 9-year-old. People, you go for a 9-year-old and people are like, fucking ew, dude. Ew. There's like a, somewhere in India, there's like an equivalent of a dude who wears a snapback monster hat and drives a 2002 Mustang that's trying to pick up a 9-year-old right now. Like in America, the equivalent of that is like a 28-year-old dude wearing the exact same thing, picking up like his 14-year-old girlfriend from her night shift at Popeyes. But in India, he's just picking up a girl that's like learning how to talk. Just like, oh, you can talk now? That is very good. Very, very good. But fuck it. The boys are beating us. There's no two ways about it. Everyone's like, oh, Indians fucking throw shit at each other. Maybe we need to start doing that. You know, everyone talks shit about them. All they do is fuck each other all day and send pictures of their dicks on Instagram. Maybe we need to do that because, I mean, they're beating us in just about everything. Everything besides GDP, standard of living, overall happiness, being developed, having doctors, having clean water, having a education system that benefits more than the top 10% of people, cars, utensils, having utensils. They're not beating us in that. But, I mean, everything else, they're destroying us. You know, they do have 3 times as many people on, like, half the size of the land. They only live in, like, 3 cities, and there's 1 billion people in each city. In China's just going crazy. China's like if India got their shit together. That's what China's like. China's like if India, like, fucking figured out utensils, because they don't even use chopsticks over in India. They're just using their bare fucking hands. You know, China figured out chopsticks, and that moved them leagues ahead of India. They figured out one utensil. That's not even a utensil. It's just 2 sticks. And they're whooping the shit out of India. I don't know why they haven't. It would be so easy to take over India. And, like, because I don't think India has nukes. I don't think China really has nukes either. Like, China's always flexing, like, some new military shit that just doesn't work. It's straight. It's like a plane made out of tinfoil. And they're like, dude, it's like when a 3rd grade, or not even a 3rd grader, like a 3-year-old makes like a plane out of Legos, and they're like, it can fly 1,000,000 miles an hour and go to space, and it's like all these missiles like hit, and it's like super fast, and like it can like take off straight from the ground, and like it can do a million backflips in 2 minutes, and it, you know, that's what China does, except it's like the entire country, and they spend billions of dollars. I could do that, especially with AI now. I would not be surprised if, like, the next, you know, stealth bomber that China debuts is just a very shitty AI video. Like, you look at the plane and you're like, that thing has 3 wings and no engines. I'm gonna take a wild guess here. It's not real. But AI does get me, I mean, a fair amount of the time, especially because people will make, like, an AI picture or a video or whatever, and then they'll, like, Photoshop it a little bit to make it look real, and it gets me every, you know, I don't have the brain equipped for that. My brain is still, like I've said before, it's an Anglo peasant brain. That's the brain I have. My brain is just completely subservient to everything around it. It doesn't view its environment as like a thing to change, really. It just, you know, it just looks at its environment. It's like, well, that's what it is. It's just like all like the genetic memories of like being ruled by like kings and like fucking feudal lords and just being told what to do all the time is still ingrained in my brain, and it's still ingrained in most people's brains, which is why fucking TikTok is tricking everybody. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck? I'm getting like a phone call on my computer. What the fuck? I don't know. Maybe my phone's connected to my computer. Once again, like I've said before, I got that Anglo peasant brain, dude. It is not figuring anything out. My phone might be connected to my computer because my email's logged in and my phone number's through my email. Is that how that... Are phone and email the same thing? What is an email? What is the internet? These are questions I don't even think computer people know how to answer. They're just like, fuck, dude, it just works, all right? And I do have to agree with them on that point. It just fucking works. Can you just shut up? Just watch... Just watch the Mia Malkova BBC compilation and shut the fuck up, dude. You got what you wanted, okay? You get to get in arguments with people on Twitter all day and fucking watch porn, dude. What else is there in the world? The world has nothing else to provide except for that. That's exactly what you signed up for. When you in your past life gained all that shitty karma, or good karma, depending on how you look at it. Because I don't know, you could have gotten reincarnated in the universe without infinite porn to watch. It could have been worse, but it's the life I signed up for. You know what I mean? My soul. God was like, "Are you sure you want to go down right now? It's not the best time to go down right now. All right?" And I was just like, "No, dude, something about it. Something about the world right now. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to go in, dude." I'm like a JV running back that's like, "Coach, put me in." The main running back got injured, and they're just like, "Fuck it, we're just not going to have a running back." And then my 140-pound ass walks up, and I'm like, "Coach, put me in." I get my fucking ACL torn, my ankle snapped on the first play. That's what happened when my soul came down from wherever it came from. Or the soul doesn't exist, and it's all completely random. Which, look, I'm going to be honest, either way, I don't give a shit. It is what it is. Anglo-peasant brain, there's the negative side of it, which is everything. You can be tricked so easily. There's nothing I can do to understand the world around me in a better way, just inherently because of how I am. But also, I don't give a shit about it either. So, fucking ipso facto, life is good, you know? And that's just the way it is. That's how it is for most people. I would say almost everyone. There's a few fucking psychopaths out there that's like, "I'm going to change the whole world." And those people either invent Amazon or commit the Holocaust. And honestly, I don't know which is worse, Amazon or the Holocaust. We're yet to see, all right? Because how long has Amazon really been like going good, or like going like strongly? It hasn't been that long. Like the Nazi Party existed for what? It existed for probably a few years before it got active in there, and Bezos is quickly going in that direction. I don't think he probably wants to kill people. That guy probably has had enough of everyone. He probably looks at everyone else like they're cockroaches, just like they're things infesting his life. He's like, "Dude, if you're not a chick whose face looks like it's about to explode, get out of my fucking sight." I don't even want to see the people that work for me. That's what's going through Bezos' brain right now, and you can't blame him. At least he's not on the Bill Gates shit, though. Bill Gates is like an actual like Lex Luthor supervillain. If you don't know, Bill Gates, the main thing he did, he's always getting up to some shit. He's always having like some harebrained scheme or whatever. And the thing about Bill Gates is that he's too stupid to like keep those ideas that he has to himself. He's like, "No, dude, I can fucking, I can say it out loud. I don't think people will really get what I'm saying, so I could just say it out loud." But the main thing that Bill Gates did was he like tested vaccines in India, I think, and like these vaccines were like turning people's legs backwards and shit. Like he was making X-Men over in fucking India. That's what Bill Gates was doing. And he also has this other idea that's like he's going to shoot a missile at the sun filled with like concrete or whatever to stop global warming. It's like, yeah, dude, we can see you're a fucking psychopath supervillain. And honestly, if you get to that level, you've earned that right? Like imagine getting to that level where you have like $100 billion. Most people don't get to the level where they have $100, so getting to the level where you have $100 billion, you're like, every idea I has works. No idea I've ever had will not be effective. I have $100 billion. All right, every single thought that comes out of my head is the most genius thing to ever exist, and I'm that way too, but I have not earned that right. That's the way you gotta be. You gotta be that way though, where you're just everything I think is correct. That's the only way to make it through life. If you're always second guessing yourself, second guessing your opinions, you're never gonna make it. You always just have to pure confidence no matter what. That's what it means to be an American, surely, right? That's what America was built on. Just a bunch of people from like Europe being like, "Yeah, what's going on over there? People are getting their scalps cut off and everyone's dying of disease. Not me. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to make it work." So if you're an American, that's part of your like fucking your brain, your genetic information. It's just pure you still have that Anglo brain of not being able to process the world around you, but you have just unwavering confidence in everything you do because your ancestors did. Unless your ancestors are like from like the 40s or whatever. Like if your ancestors came over in like the I'll give you the 20s, but like up to like the 40s or 50s, if they came over after that, they don't got that dog in them like that. Like they came over when everything was like all figured out. Like if your ancestors came after they killed all the Indians and put them on reservations, they don't got that dog in them. If your ancestors were not complacent in the Native American genocide, then you're just not like that. Like everyone talks shit like, oh, you're colonizers, your ancestors fucking did this and that, and it's like, yeah, dude, they did do it. Your ancestors didn't do shit. They sat on a farm in whatever shithole fucking country they lived in and did nothing, while mine literally killed an entire race of people. So what are you gonna do about it? You know, enslaved an entire race of people, and that's another thing. And I talked about this in another episode where it's like somehow I ended up on like the trans side of Twitter. Somehow it's just like trans people talking all day, and all their tweets are awful, but I somehow ended up over there, and it's just, at first I was like, fucking dude, this is the shit, these guys are funny as hell. You know, I was in the honeymoon phase. I was in the honeymoon trans phase, you know? I was like, this is the shit. These guys are funny. They don't care about anything. And then I started getting the tweets. You know, I saw one today where it was something to the effect of being a cis white person. And cis means like you're not transgender. So literally everyone besides like 12 people. If you're a cis white person, then you don't have to like care about politics or whatever. And it's like, the idea behind that is that white people haven't been historically oppressed, but neither are fucking transgender people. Like, where is this idea coming from that like transgender people are like the equivalent in terms of oppression as like black people? Like, especially in America, like every black person is like the descendant of a slave. Like last time I checked, the Portuguese and the Spanish weren't sailing over to Portland and finding women with deep voices and 5 o'clock shadows, putting them in chains and then fucking working them to death. Like that's not, they weren't enslaved for 400 fucking years and then oppressed for another 100. Like black people couldn't vote until like 1975. Slavery wasn't abolished in Mississippi until like 4 years ago. Like during the pandemic, they were like going through some old documents and they're like, you know, slavery still exists, right? And then they banned it. You know, good on them though. I would have kept that shit straight up. I would have been like, just fucking don't tell anyone. Just keep it low. We might need it again. You know what I mean? It's a break glass in case of emergency type situation. It's like, look, I don't want to have to bring it back, but like fucking we might have to, dude. It's not going well right now. Eggs cost how much, dude? Keep the slavery bill in place. Just don't tell anyone. All right, we're probably gonna. I said maybe, but we're probably gonna fucking need it again. You know, that's what they were doing. That's what I would have done at least. But no, they were pussies about it. They didn't see the future. They were too short-sighted. They were too short-sighted to see the importance of slavery in Mississippi, which being a slave in Mississippi, being anything in Mississippi really is fucking awful. You know? Especially being a slave, though. Being a slave might be better than just being like a normal person in Mississippi. Because at least if you're a slave in Mississippi, you got food. Even if it's not the best food, no food in Mississippi is good, you know? It's all fucking like crawfish stuffed in 4-day-old cornbread with a bunch of molasses put on top of it. That's every meal from Mississippi. That's some of that down south cooking. Now, you ain't never had no down south cooking like this before, and it's just a brick of lard with a bunch of mosquitoes in it, fucking with barbecue sauce on it, with not even the good type of barbecue sauce, like that shitty, like Alabama has a type of barbecue where they use a white sauce. It's like a mayonnaise-based sauce with like lemon and seasonings in it, and it's like, what the fuck are we doing, dude? That's not barbecue, that's ranch. Yeah, it's a mayonnaise-based barbecue sauce. No, it's ranch. Like, you might have discovered it before they started calling it ranch, but it's still ranch. That's not barbecue. People call everything barbecue, especially down south. They're like, yeah, these are barbecue hot dogs, and it's like, you cook that shit on the stove. Like, not, I don't know. They just call all shitty food barbecue. It's like how fucking, like, people call naan, they call it, like, naan bread, when in reality, naan is just the word for bread. I think in the South, the word barbecue just means shitty food. Just like the fucking assholes in the hooves of horses and stuff. They're like, that's barbecue. You ever had horse pussy before? That's real barbecue. All right? Let me tell you about barbecue. You throw a bunch of Sour Patch Kids on a 4-day-old raccoon carcass, and that's barbecue. All right, you understand me? You understand me, son? You know, They would call me son. They would call other people boy. They'd call me son though. Yeah, they'd see so they could see that I'm genetically superior. And speaking of genetic superiority, I've been rewatching that show Invincible, and like part of the show is like they have these people called like the Viltrumites, and the Viltrumites are like kind of an allegory for like the Nazis or whatever. Like these people who think they're the master race and that they have to like dominate the world, which is really just like Europe for like 500 years. And so the Viltrumites are like an allegory for that, right? And the idea obviously is that like no one's genetically superior. If you're a conscious, thing, you're a conscious being, then everyone's equal, right? And it's like, but these guys are. These guys are genetically superior to everyone else. They eat normal food, but they can fly like 1 billion miles per hour. They can kill everything in their sight without trying. They are the master race. Like I don't think that doesn't work when like the idea that like the master race doesn't exist. That idea doesn't work when there actually is a master race, Like the Viltrumites in the show, they are the master race, Like there's no, you can't be like, yeah, these guys that can like fly 1 billion miles per hour are smarter than everyone else and can kill everything and are stronger than everything else. Yeah, they're not the master race. Like that just doesn't make any sense. It's like, no, they are. They're better than us. There's, there is. My idea is, though, that the babies are the master race. Everyone does all the work for them all the time. Everyone feeds them. They don't have to move ever. They are the master race. The goal of your life should be to be like a baby eventually. Just have all your needs taken care of. You never have to move again. Like if I was Bill Gates, that's what I'd be doing. I wouldn't be shooting missiles full of concrete at the sun. I'd be in a gigantic bed. I'd be in a room that's just a bed. Just like that's the entire room. And it would still be a bed. Like it's not like the floor would be a mattress. There'd be a regular floor, but above that there would be a bed. That is fucking terrifying though, dude. Imagine how many monsters could fit under your bed if your bed was the size of a room, dude. But that's the other thing. You're so rich, you can just have a bunch of people under there. You can put like SEAL Team 6 under your bed to just look for monsters all the time. That's what I would be if I was Bill Gates. Bill Gates. Sorry, I keep burping. But that's what I would be. I'd just have people deliver me food all the time. I'd be 800 pounds, and I'd never die. My life would be a constant cycle of someone shoving a tube down my throat and just filling me with fat, and then injecting me with a fucking 400 milliliters of Ozempic right afterwards. That's what my life would be like if I was Bill Gates. If I was Bill Gates, yeah, I wouldn't, you're out getting, but you can get any pussy you want. You can get any girl you want, literally. That's what Bill Gates was doing. He was going to an island, and he was picking out some nice 8-year-old sniz that he wanted. He was going full India on him. Maybe that's why, like, Bill Gates, like, sent all his jobs over to India, because he was like, these people share my values. They love children. They eat slop all day. They don't eat meat. That's another, like, Bill Gates thing, is that he's, like, a vegetarian, or, like, he doesn't eat a lot of meat or whatever. I think that's why he loves India. Like, that's why he, like, tested out the vaccines. He was like, look, I'm not trying to kill you guys. I'm just trying to I'm making you guys into X-Men, all right? This vaccine's going to make you into an X-Men. You share my exact value system, okay? I fucking fuck with you guys heavy. And that's what Bill Gates was doing. Good guy, though. Solid guy. He did invent Microsoft, which is, it's boring. We need something new. We need a new fucking computer operating system. We need some shit. I just want to be able to, like, tell it to do everything for me. That's what Bill Gates needs to figure out. But not with AI. We need Indians. That's what the Indians, slavery. That's what I want. I'm realizing that. I quickly came to that conclusion, right? I said it previously in this episode. We need we need someone else to do all the work for us. You can't do all the work yourself. That's like the whole point of being rich. Like, what's the point? Like, America's constantly, like, bombing other countries and, like, trying to, like, expand our economic empire. But, like, what's the point of all of that if we can't, if I have to do anything? I think that's the main problem people have with, like, America being, like, an imperialist, colonialist nation or whatever. It's not that they're doing that. It's that they're doing that, and also my life sucks, right? Like, that's That's the reason people have a problem with it. Like, if they were going out destroying the entire world, like if the entire world was Fallout except for America, and we could just chill back and just destroy Sour Patch Kids all day, no one in this country would and probably should not have a problem with that. You know, if you could just sit back all day, just in a bed, if you could be like what's those guys from Dune, the Harkonnens, like those big fat guys that just like sit in a tank of like fluid all day. If everyone in America could just do that all day, no one would care. It's the fact that they do all that and the American people get really nothing out of it. Like fucking England or whatever, they don't do that, and it's not the exact same, but it's pretty fucking similar in terms of like quality of life and shit over there, you know. And it's so America, we got to figure this shit out. Start, you know, don't just invade a country, enslave its entire population, and just have them do all the work for us, okay? Then everyone will get off your fucking ass about that shit. Isn't that what you want? Isn't that what the government really wants? Just get off my fucking ass about shit. There's no way they enjoy it. Like all the protests and shit constantly. Maybe they do. Maybe they're like, you know, they're just like internet trolls that are like, yes, I love when you hate me. Please hate me. Yes, it feeds me. You're feeding me with your hate. Maybe that's what the government is like, but I doubt it. I really think they want the thing everyone else wants, which is just to stop your fucking bitching and nagging and get off my fucking ass. That's what they want. That's what everyone wants. That's the point of life. To just not have shit on your ass anymore. To have shit in your ass, that is the point of life, actually. You know, to just constantly have your ass full of shit, to be able to eat enough food all the time that there's constantly a 13-inch log waiting in your intestines. That's the point of life. And a good log, all right? People don't appreciate a good shit anymore. Like back in the day, people were obsessed with shit, you know what I mean? Like in the 1700s, that's all Western medicine was. Like if you were sick, they just give you a bunch of laxatives and you just shit them out all day. Like that's what Lewis and Clark had for their medicine. Like when Lewis and Clark did their expedition across America to like the Pacific Ocean or whatever, the only medicine they had was laxatives. And now just no one appreciates shit anymore. You know, it's like back in the day, people used to love shit, dude. That's why I need to go to India. They still love shit over there. No one appreciates my logs that I drop. That's what it feels like. Is this what being trans feels like? It's like there's something inside of me, and I need the world to appreciate it, to acknowledge its truth and its power, you know? And it's not my true gender, it's my shit. And people do get upset about the trans shit where they're like, you're not actually a woman. And it's like, yeah, I think everyone can kind of agree. It's like, no, that's not actually a woman. But if a dude wants to cut his dick off and get tits, fucking, I'm all for it. People choose to do way worse things with their life than cut off their dick and get some tits. As long as they're just staying out the way. Like if you just cut your tits off and like, or cut your tits off and get a dick, that's the other option. If you just do that and stay out the fucking way, no one will give a shit. Right? It's the same thing as the American Empire conquering everything around them. If you just do it and get off our fucking asses about it, no one needs to know about it. Yeah, I'm different and better than everyone else because I cut off my tits and got a dick. Oh my god. Shut up, dude. I could do that too. Take me fucking 3 seconds to do it. I could do it too, and I'd do it way better than you, dude. If I fucking cut off my tits, I do want to cut off my tits. I've never really had man tits. Some people do have crazy fucking man tits. And everyone that does have man tits, every dude that has man tits has like fucking like big like like almost like tits that have been used to feed a family of 12. That's the tits that every man has. You know, no man has like a nice pair of perky double Ds, a nice shape to them, a nice roundness to them. You know what I mean? Bounce a little bit when you walk, but not too much, you know? They don't come back and like smack you in the face or whatever. No dude has like a nice pair of tits. I did have a dream about that once though, where like everyone just had tits and I was like, fucking I have tits. And I still like tits. That's the thing though. It's like you'd think if you had tits, you'd be like, whatever, tits. But I guess lesbians are proof of that, you know? Even if you have tits, you can still appreciate them. Appreciate the beauty, the suppleness, the softness, the squeeziness of them. Everyone loves tits. I think that's probably because that's what fed us when we were babies or whatever. You know? That's why everyone loves tits. There are a few people that don't love tits, like gay people. That's the weirdest thing about gay people to me. It's not the shit you want to get fucked in the butt. You want to get fucked in the butt, no problem with that. It's like you don't like tits though. I can fully see not liking a vagina. You know, that's a worldview that I can comprehend. Not liking tits though. That's true insanity. I think that's why people had like a problem with gay people back in the day. It's not that they like, getting in butts or stuff getting in their butt. It's because they didn't like tits. They were like, dude, you don't like tits? There has to be something wrong with you. It's not like not liking women. I don't think anyone likes women. Women don't like women. It's you don't like tits? Dude, those things fucking rule, dude. They're big and they're soft. What's not to like? They got a nipple on them. They're not hairy at all. Some of them are hairy. Some of the tits are hairy, and I do acknowledge that fact, and I appreciate it. Those are the really oppressed people in our society. Women like to act like the patriarchy is like fuck them over or whatever, and it's like you guys are 50% of the population. It's like the funniest thing to me. It's like when women are like, we've been oppressed for like 500 years, or for like the beginning of time. And it's like, okay, maybe you have been oppressed since the beginning of time, because dudes could always beat your ass. I do see that point. But we have a thing called guns now. You heard of these things? You heard of these things called guns? Yeah, anyone can use them. You can be 140 pounds and kill a 400-pound, 6'10" dude. Anyone can do it. Actually, the most dangerous people in the military are dudes that are 5'8", 160 pounds. That's what all Navy SEALs are. Everyone thinks like Navy SEAls are like these huge, roided up jack dudes, and maybe like the ones that like the media shows you are. Like the ones that they parade around or whatever. Because it's like, you want to show off the biggest ones you got, right? But like most of them, the Delta Force guys are like 5'8", 160 pounds. They're borderline femboys. If they could do estrogen for like a year, and we'd have some Hunter Schafers on our hand. And that's another thing. Trans people in the military, I don't know what, okay. So the whole trans, ideology is, rooted in, liberalism, right? And not even liberalism, leftism or whatever it's called. It's, extreme progressivism. That's the ideological camp that, supports trans, the idea of trans people existing. But those people also, despise the fucking military. I don't understand why they want them in the military so bad if they think America's, an evil colonial empire. They're like, Trump's not going to let trans people in the military. And it's like, shouldn't you be happy about that? Shouldn't you be happy that you're not allowed to participate in, this, what you view as an evil colonial empire? I don't know, guys. I've got some ideas. I'm Bill Gates. Every single idea that comes out of my head is a good one. I'm sure I'll never regret any of them. And another idea I was thinking about suicide. Maybe it's because I've been interacting with trans people so much that their telepathy came over, infested my brain thinking about suicide. And people talk about, suicide. They're like, suicide is never the answer. Or just, violence in general. Killing people is never the answer. And it's I think it's, always the answer. Or they're like, it's never... Violence should never be an option. And it's like, no, that's the ultimate option. That's the option that gets rid of all the problems. You know what I mean? If you have some problems in life, whatever it is, literally whatever problem you have in life, if you just kill yourself, that problem doesn't exist anymore. Look, maybe if you're Christian and you think if you kill yourself, you go to hell or whatever, maybe. But that's a different problem, if you just kill yourself, the problem you're facing right now goes away. Same with killing other people. If someone's annoying you, look, I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying it'll get rid of the fucking problem. And that idea led me to think about, how SNL does those parody medical commercials? I think the most recent one they did was with Shane Gillis, and it was a couple of beers. I drink a couple of beers and whatever. It was some fucking shitty joke. And I was thinking of one, and mine isn't shitty, all right? Mine's actually a very smart, poignant joke that points out some of the problems that exist in our society, all right? Mine's a smart joke. But I was thinking of one that's called, a noose, ANUSE. Whatever problem you're facing in life, just put your head in a noose and jump into your new life, I used to be so sad before. I used to have so many problems. My wife left me, and she brought the kids with her, and then she got the house, too. And that's when I tried a noose. A noose got rid of all my problems. I don't have any problems anymore because I tried a noose. So I was thinking about that too. But that does bring us to today's episode, which is spoons. We're talking about spoons today. The word comes from the Old English spawn, meaning chip, and I don't know how they got that from that. Like it, if you watch those videos on TikTok, and I watch them all the time, I spend all day on TikTok. I don't spend that much day. As much as I talk about Twitter, I don't spend that much of my day on it, and it's because I talk about it so much. You know what I mean? It's like because Twitter infuriates me so much and fills my head with such hatred towards everyone. I'm not really on it too much, but TikTok I am on all day. And there's like these people on TikTok who like talk about like the origin of words or the meaning of words, or like they'll go all the way back from like where a modern word began, right? So if like the word is like water, they'll be like, all right, water came from like the Germanic wachach, right? And then it became wacher, and eventually they get to water. I don't know how spoon came to be though, right? From chip. Maybe it's because that's how they made spoons, like you chip it out, but like that's how you make most things start as a bigger thing and then become a smaller thing. So I guess spoons were just that culturally significant that they were like, look, everything does get like chipped down into another thing eventually, but these are really special. All right, these ones are a game changer right here. So we got to name the spoons after Chip. And spoons are the oldest utensil. That's not a fact. That's more of a personal speculation, but aside from like sticks, even sticks, I feel like pretty, the jump from a stick to a spoon is a pretty simple one. The jump from a stick to a chopstick, I feel like that's more complicated than the jump from a stick to a spoon, Because you find like a nice, good stick that's kind of got a hole in it already, and you're like, well, that's basically a spoon. But you get to chopsticks, I still don't know how to use chopsticks. And that might be because I can barely write with a pencil, but yeah, I don't have the hand dexterity for chopsticks. My hands are more so built for just holding on to things all day. I have monkey hands. That's the type of hands I have. I don't have hands that are meant to do really anything other than like hold on to like a tractor wheel all day. That's what my hands are designed for. All right, and then medieval spoons were often made out of horn, which I guess that's probably like the best use of a horn. It's like, what else are you going to do with it? We already have 1,000 cups made out of horns. We already put them on the helmets, and that didn't really work out too well. So we're just going to make them into spoons, and it's already you got a bit of a spoon shape going on. I don't know how they turned them into spoons, right? Because you can either like kind of cut the horn in half, and then it's a spoon, or you can kind of take the whole thing and turn it into a spoon. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering how they did that one. I'm wondering how they got there in the first place. I wonder if there would be like like those people that are like, I can't drink out of plastic. If a cup is plastic, I can't drink out of it. Like those people that are like scared of plastics. If there's like a dude who was like, when you eat something with a spoon horn, you're actually getting microhorns into your body, and that's what's gonna kill you. And it's like, dude, we drink beer all day, and we work under the sun with no protection. We work 19 hours a day and then go home and get blackout drunk every night. I don't think it's going to be the horns that's going to kill us. I wonder if they did have an RFK back then. I was like, horns, we need to get rid of horns. The horn spoons are putting evil ghosts into our body and killing us. You got to imagine they did. That's what most of old medicine though was. It was just a dude like RFK being like, "There's ghosts. Everything you do is putting ghosts into your body, dude. We gotta completely change the way we do everything because of ghosts getting in our body, making us sick. You're shitting your brains out because there's a ghost in there. All right, we gotta get it out of there. So stop using the horn for a spoon." And the coronation spoon is the oldest surviving piece of British regalia. Or British royal regalia, which is like, I guess, the thing they use in the ceremony to like anoint a king or like a prince or whatever, or like a queen. Everyone's getting the spoon. No matter what, you're getting the fucking spoon. It's like an Italian household, all right? Everyone's getting the spoon. Doesn't matter what you're doing, your gender, where you're from, you're getting the spoon. And I do wonder how they use it. Maybe they like, I just had a disgusting image in my head of like being on like both of your knees and like someone spoon feeding something into your mouth. That's probably the most disgusting thing you can imagine, is what the royal family does for everything. Like what, or just British people in general, not even the royal family, just British people in general. Like the most disgusting way you can imagine making food is that's what British people eat all the time. And spoons are the primary eating utensil in Southeast Asia. I know you guys weren't expecting this, but people in Southeast Asia, I don't think they use chopsticks like that. I think that's like a Chinese, Japanese, maybe like a little bit of Korean, but like not really. It's mostly like Chinese and Japanese. And the way they were saying they did it is that they had forks, but they don't use the forks to go straight to their mouth. They like use the fork to put the thing on the spoon and then it goes to your mouth, all right? Yeah. Very, very inefficient. And they use rice as an example for that, and I think it's more efficient to eat rice with a fork than with a spoon. Because with the, you gotta like scrape it around and shit. I think it might be more efficient to eat it with a fork than a spoon. But yeah. And spoons are used as measuring devices. All right. Spoons are mentioned in the book of Exodus by God. So it was like, and this is like the big one. Remember when, who was it? Noah? No, it was Moses. Moses is the guy who got the 10 Commandments. When Moses, so we went up to the mountain to get like the 10 Commandments and all that shit. And part of that was like God told him to like make a bunch of golden spoons for some reason. I don't know what. I think God was just fucking with Moses at that point. Like Moses went up there and God was like, all right, here's the 10 rules everyone has to follow no matter what. These are the 10 you got to follow. And Moses was like, all right, what else? And God was like, shit, fuck. God, that's all I had. Spoons. You got to make a bunch of golden spoons, all right? This is really important. Get a bunch of spoons going. And Moses had like a little notepad, and he was writing it all out. He didn't have a notepad. He had like a stone tablet. He was chiseling it all out on. He was like, all right, spoons. All right, got it. Bunch of golden spoons. What else do we got, God? God was like, no shrimp. People ain't allowed to eat shrimp anymore, all right? I don't like them. No one else is going to like them, all right? No shrimp. Unless there's cocktail sauce. I do like shrimp with cocktail sauce. Write that one down. And Moses was like, wait, what did you say? What did you say about the cocktail sauce? And then God was already on to the next thing. He's like, all right, what else do we got? What else do we have going on? I got some other ideas. All right, Moses, I got some irons in the fire. You better be ready. You got that chisel ready? Because I got some other ideas I'm going to slam down on you real quick. All right, clothes. They better be made out of one thing. If you're wearing clothes made out of more than one thing, you're going to hell. And Moses was like, all right, clothes made out of one thing. He's like, wait, what's hell? God, I was like, God damn it. Fucking ignore that, all right? Don't worry about hell right now. Hell's not that big of a deal. Just tell them they're going to hell, all right? Just fucking, God, get off my fucking ass about this hell shit. I haven't even made that one yet, dude. No one has done anything to go to hell yet. I'm not going to explain it. I haven't even made it yet, all right? Next rule we got. No gay dudes going on. And Moses was like, what? Wait, what? What does gay mean again? God was like, all right, Moses, that's when two dudes have sex. All right, write that one down. Moses was like, are you sure? Look, I'm not questioning you. I'm just saying, like, that one's not that bad. That's like a pretty good idea we have going on. God was like, write it down. Moses was like, all right. I'll write that one down. Moses was like, God damn it, now I'm going to have to fucking break up with my boyfriend when I get back home. This fucking annoying asshole. He's like, all right. I guess I'm going to have to break up with my boyfriend when I get back home. What else do we got, God? What else do you have for me? God is like, all right, what else do I have? What else do I have? No electricity on Saturdays. No electricity on the Sabbath. And Moses, what the fuck is electricity? God was like, God damn it, I forgot you guys don't have that one yet. Fuck, whatever. Okay, those are the rules. Get down there and tell them that. And then Moses got down from the mountain, and people were partying. That's what allegedly happened when Moses came down from the mountain. People were just going fucking hog wild. He was like the only dude that like knew what morality as a concept was. And so when he got down, he was like, what the fuck, dude? My boyfriend's fucking a goat. You cheated on me with a goat, you son of a bitch. I'll fucking kill you. I'll fucking kill you. So God told him to make a bunch of spoons for some reason. I don't know. It's the will of God, all right? That's my Catholic, like, programming in me. Just, it's the will of God, all right? Stop questioning shit. And they do that in science as well. Like, scientists like to act like, dude, this isn't like religion, all right? We, like, actually like to figure shit out and, like, think about it and, like, analyze it and stuff. And it's like, I don't know, dude. As someone who's taking even, like, very low-level college science classes, it mostly is just fucking, it's the way it works, all right? Like, that's what science is. It's the exact same thing, just with a few extra steps, just with no God, which is kind of a positive and a negative, you know? Like, God does rule. Like, whether you like him or not, God does, he made everything, so he does kind of rule. But, like, science is like, there's no God. It's like, so what, does everything rule or not, right? Like, that's the true question that God answers. God doesn't answer the question of like the afterlife or like what's the meaning of life. He's just like, he answers the question like what does rule and what doesn't rule. All right, what's the sickest shit on earth? And if you believe in God, you have the answer to that question. And if you believe in Buddhism, you have the answer to nothing. All right, I've been thinking about it, you guys. Buddha was a real swing and a miss with that one. Solid guy. He figured out a few good things. Karma, that's a pretty good idea. Enlightenment, I see where you're going with that one. Another good idea, but no God, really? Or no, like, nothing's happening up there, are you sure? But, like, something kind of has to be happening, right? Like, then how does reincarnation work if nothing's happening? I don't know. I think that was kind of a swing and a miss. Not fully a swing and a miss. It was like a swing. It was a foul ball, but, like, you swung the bat really well, you know? It was like that could have been a home run. It was almost a home run. It had the potential there. If you would have just added like a sick-ass Buddha god, like a nice fat Asian dude. God, if God was a fat Asian dude, life would be so much better. If God was a fat Asian dude, no one would go hungry. Everyone would be eating on fucking octopus ankles all the time. Dude, it would be the best. It'd be the best life. Best life you could imagine. Maybe that's one of the other dimensions. Like this dimension, God is just like an old Jewish guy, just like, no, you're not allowed to use electricity on Sundays, okay? It's all about rest. And it's like, dude, nothing makes me rest more than electricity. That is the reason they don't use electricity on the Sabbath. I think their Sabbath is the Saturday, which does fucking awful day. The first day of the weekend, like the work week is over, all right? You're done, you're ready to chill out, and it's like, no, I gotta go to church. Or not church, whatever they call it. Church, but the guy has a really weird haircut. That's what Jewish church is, all right? I gotta go listen to a dude with a rat tail speaking tongues for fucking 2 hours, all right? I gotta do this. Then I go home. I can't use fucking electricity. What the fuck are we doing here, all right? Not the Christian God, though. The Christian God is kind of like, you go to church, you don't go to church. It's not that big of a deal, all right? Just get some fancy water poured on your head, and that's really all you need, all right? Everything else is kind of bullshit. Just get the water on your head. Even if you're a pedophile, it's not that big of a fucking deal. Just chill the fuck out. Believe in me. Pray to me every once in a while, you know what I mean? Shout me out. Give me a nice shout-out every now and then. But fucking as long as you get the fancy water on your head, you're good. And the Jews are over there just like, that's why they're so cantankerous, you know what I mean? That's why they're bombing the shit out of Gaza. Because they don't get a rest day. Their rest day is Sunday, but Sunday is just, you know, you're just preparing for Monday. That's all Sunday is. You're like, fuck, I gotta go to bed at 10 tonight so that I can wake up at 8 and fucking get out of the house before my annoying fucking kids wake up. All right, that would make you bomb Gaza. Don't pretend like it wouldn't. All right, that would make you so infuriated you would have to destroy an entire country. And I don't know what Hitler's excuse is on that one. Right, like he got, what, like 11 million people, and that's just the civilians. That's just like the Holocaust. But he started a war that killed 100 million people, and I, quite frankly, don't see what his excuse is. His excuse is that he didn't get into art school. Dude, that's a fucking privilege to not have to deal with art school people all day. The most pretentious, you didn't have to deal with the most annoying, pretentious people on earth. That's a win. I don't know what you're bitching about, dude. Yeah, once again, this is the second episode in a row where I've come to the realization I don't think Hitler was like a normal guy with like a normal thought process. Like when people call Hitler evil, it's like, yeah, what he did was evil for sure. There's no denying that. I think he was just kind of retarded though. I think Hitler was just like kind of retarded. He like saw a problem. He's like, the problem isn't this, it's actually that. Like I know the problem seems like it's inflation, or like I know the problem seems like we're not making enough food. It's actually the Jews, all right? So I'm going to get rid of them all, and then everyone's going to have all the food in the world. It's like it's like when people are like, they'll blame capitalism for fucking everything, or they're like the thanks Obama, like that joke where it's like your car like stops working and you're like, thanks Obama. People do that with capitalism, but like unironically. They'll be like, fucking my shoes, I tied my shoes 3 times today, and every time I tied them, they eventually became untied, and they'll be like, and this is because of capitalism. That's what they're doing. And they do it like for real. They're like, fucking, my mom yelled at me today. My mom's making me move out of the basement, and like, that's all capitalism's fault. And you can't blame them. You gotta have something to blame, all right? That's like the modern day like equivalent of like blaming the devil for everything, being like, it's all the devil's fault.
The devil made you do it. It's the devil in you, boy. The devil in you made you goon for 12 hours straight. The devil untied your shoes when you were walking to class. The devil's making you move out of your mama's basement. That's the modern day equivalent. Capitalism is just the devil. I mean, in like the religious or like anthropological. I don't know. You guys know what I mean. All right. All right, our next fun fact about spoons is that a comically large spoon is only $350 USD. And this is I think it's a metal spoon. So you can get a giant metal spoon for $350 USD and make all the jokes on Instagram Reels you want. Unlimited opportunities. This is a life-changing thing. And look, I don't work for Big Spoon. I'm just telling you this as an objective fact. A comically large spoon for only $350 USD is a fucking steal, and it will change your life. And then the smallest spoon ever, or the smallest wooden spoon, is 1.6 million, or not 1.6 million, 1.6 millimeters. And this spoon was made by a dude from Bihar, however the fuck you say it. But if you didn't listen to the Buddhism episode, that's where Buddha did a bunch of his shit. That's where he like sat under a tree and like, I don't know, pretended to meditate. He was definitely like people would like stand around him all day, and he'd have to be like, fuck, people are actually watching me do this. All right, I'm just gonna sit here and pretend to meditate. Just what should I think about? And he like fell asleep in like a meditative position. And then when everyone left at night, he like went out, just ate a bunch of food. He was like, thank fucking God, dude, these people have been watching me all day. It's finally munch time. It's time to shove a bunch of scrimps down my throat. Time to get some scrimps and some cocktail sauce up in here. All right. That's all I've got for this episode. Nice 51-minute episode. Nice little blessing coming down, you know what I mean? That's all I've got, though. Hope you have a good day, good week, good year, good life, and I'll see you guys on Sunday. I think Sunday we're going to do like some weird and wacky sports and stuff. So, yeah. I'll see you guys then. Peace.